Now you have to agree on the fact that Pixel 7 actually stand out because of two big reasons. One is its outstanding camera performance, and the second is actually its pricing, reasonable pricing. Now with the launch of the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, there are going to be many changes. I've covered that in my last video, but here I'm going to tell you about 5 changes that no one talking about. But that makes these two phones really interesting. But before everything, I want to cover the first change, and that is the pricing. Now you also need to know that the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro will have the same storage capabilities as the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro. 128, 256 for the base model, and for the Pro, 128, 256 and 512GB. According to a leak, the 128GB Pixel 8 will be priced at €710. With taxes, it's gonna be $874. Now if you compare that with the Pixel 7 128GB model, then that was launched at €649. So that's literally more than €50 increase. And similarly, the 128GB Pixel 8 Pro is actually expected to retail at €1,004. With VAT, that will be €1,235. But if you compare that with the Pixel 7 Pro starting price, that was €899. And that also clearly gives you an idea what the US pricing is gonna be like. Because in the past we have heard that the Pixel 8, the base model, will actually start at a price which will be $50 to $100 more than the Pixel 7 starting price in the US. Another big change is in software department. Well, as pointed out by 95Google, the iPhone XR, which was released in 2018 with iOS 12, will receive iOS 17. Now 95Google actually says that the Pixel 8 series is expected to offer 5 years of major Android updates. That's a big commitment. And the same thing will continue with even the Pixel 9 series and 10 series or so. Now this is a big thing that is possible only because of the Tensor chip. Even though it is still really capable, it has the NPU capabilities and all these features are only because of the Tensor chip, but the weakest link of every single Pixel's launch since the Pixel 6 has also been the same Tensor chip. Now this chip isn't bad entirely, but it is lagging far behind the competition in terms of raw power and efficiency. The first Tensor GS101 or the Tensor G1 chip was full of connectivity and heating issues. The Tensor G2 also had certain kind of problems. Now, if you talk about the Tensor G3, this is expected to be a pretty significant upgrade from the Tensor and the Tensor G2 because it will feature 1+4+4 CPU configuration rather than what they were using previously with 2 prime Cortex cores. Now, this time it will have 4 high-performance Cortex A715 cores running at 2.45 GHz, 4 energy efficiency Cortex A510 cores running at 2.15 GHz and 1 prime Cortex X3 core running at 3 GHz. Now that will make this chip a very good competition to the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, not the upcoming 8 Gen 3. And that is understandable. But one thing is that it is still an Exynos chip inside, and it is even made using Samsung's 4nm process node. So we will have to wait to see how Google actually have optimized the software to take advantage of the raw power the Tensor G3 is coming with, and what type of cooling system they have used to have a good sustained performance in the Tensor G3 chip. Now just a moment, I thought that I know everything about the Tensor chip. Here is something really new. One leaker actually claims that Samsung Foundry will use fan-out wafer level packaging construction and stacking technology for the Tensor G3 chip. Now this technology actually will overcome the trade-off between the heat dissipation and the performance. So the tech will actually reduce the thickness of the chip packages and thereby reducing the heat dissipation. In simple words, it will be much more thermally efficient while still having a great sustained performance. I hope the Pixel 8 Pro will finally be able to solve this whole Tensor problems. And if you don't know, Google is actually with the Pixel 10 series in 2025 will switch to a fully customized by Google chip. That means it will have no influence from Samsung or Samsung Foundry. Now, it is also should be noted that the Pixel 8 Pro will feature ultra-wideband chip, a newer one, and that will provide it the ultra-wideband capabilities which deliver more precise tracking information when searching for a lost item that has a smart tracker attached. Now, this is gonna be still Pixel 8 Pro exclusive. Now, another interesting change is that Google is actually opting for a matte finish on the main body of the Pixel 8 Pro this year, at least in the porcelain color. Now, these small little changes along with the bigger changes that are coming to the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro will make these devices really interesting in the market, which I've discussed in my last video as well. And yes, if you want, you can get some crazy cool wallpapers up on my website, a link down below. Until the next one, bye and take care.